All right, so we've inserted all of the views. We did a little bit with the assembly, so our first page. Scale-wise, we can always adjust as we go through, but pretty much it was kind of set to 1-to-1. If it looked a little small, then make it a little bit bigger, a little smaller as needed. So on this one, I have enough information that I think I could probably get away with rotating this. So let's rotate the view 90 degrees and see what it looks like. So 90 degrees, apply. And again, it's warning me. So that one picked up. So maybe minus 90 degrees. And apply and close. Alright, so that puts me in a situation where I don't need the top view. And the dowel pin symbol pretty much is just there for the reference that it's going to have some kind of fit related to the dowel pin. Alright, so we kind of did a few of these. Those are all looking pretty good, and we'll adjust as we go. So applying the dimensions, again, we're just going to make a couple passes at this. The intent is to get a sense of the process. At this stage, we're not making fully detailed drawings, so I'm going to stay with kind of that baseline. So anytime it looks like there's going to be an issue selecting, make sure to zoom up. And right now we're in 2 decimal places. So I might want to consider switching that over. And missed one there, so we'll drag it down. And so there's center utility, but I kind of want to stagger these a little bit. And I am in ISO. I can tell the difference because the numbers, the dimension is above the extension line. And when we go into the vertical, we're going to see that those are aligned to the extension line vertically. So gives it a little bit of a difference. And then maybe over here, pull those. And looks like I missed one there. So I'm making sure not to grab the fillet, but the actual geometry. Oh, so didn't need that one. Okay, so I missed my click, my selection, so make sure it highlights. Nope. And there again, zoom. I missed again. Nice. Alright, we have a winner. Alright, so I'm going to escape a couple times, move that over just a bit, and reposition my dimensions. Alright, so anything that I would need for reference, probably a quick note if we want to add. I can go to that little box, and we're going to do that again, and it would help not to have the shift on that key. Alright, so 2 times for that dimension. When I highlight the dimension, the little box pops up. When I hover over it, it shifts in 2 times. Or, and then I'm just clicking out of it. So 0.79, let's see, did we get the lowest one? Nope, I guess I missed another one. Alright, so that's going to be part of the process, is making sure to pick those up and get any of the overlooked dimensions. Alright, so when I apply this, and then there's the box, and 2 times. So this is going to be, when we consider the easy way, the 217. If I highlight it, I can always come over to the dimension text and the properties. 2 times, put my space, and it's going to put it in. What you don't want to do is mess with anything between the less than and greater than symbol. And then smart dimension for the whole. and we'll probably do the whole call out, see what the difference. So a little bit of a shift, and since want to do that comparison. Alright, so still more of the leader and the through call out. Alright, so we get a little bit more information. I started to look at this as a reference dimension. Maybe we want to look at how wide that segment is, but it's pretty much a duplicate dimension at that point, so this needs to be a reference by adding parentheses. Alright, and then our heights. And not quite sure what it was selecting. And then last, we'll go in for the radius. And again with the 2 times. And add that as a value. Alright, so any of the arrows, if I want it to go the other way, I'm just going to look for that handle. Maybe it'll give it to me. There we go. Double click on the point. I was picking on the arrow. We need to be at the connection point. Alright, and that gives us a good start for our dimensions. Alright, so we're going to go through and apply this to each of the drawings. So rather than go through all the detailing, I'll show you what the end result looks like in a minute. Okay, coming back, I've made a pass on a few dimensions. Alright, so a couple of interesting things that come up is I want to be able to go to the overall length as a reference. So if I do a shift and select the arc and a shift and select the arc, that has the effect of going to the max condition. We can find that max condition under the leaders, and as long as you're selecting the arcs rather than the center points, then that will give you the opportunity to select to centers, to mins, min max, max min, max max. Alright, so that'll give me my my overall. And if we're going to go to the whole location and then to the outside, one of those has to have a precedent. So I can make it for reference currently. So I'm going to right click, go into the select. One of the things that comes up with the whole wizard, we don't get that little box. So when I click into the dimension text, it's going to warn me, you're changing something, are you sure you want to do that? And I'm just going to put the 2 times. After a while, I'm going to click that little box in the lower left that says, do not show this again. Yes, I know I'm changing it. Alright, so working back through, we have some of the other rounds. Alright, so as long as we're picking diameters, alright, and because of the advantage of the whole call out, denoting it as through, or if it was a blind, then we'd want to take advantage of some of those. So then I go back to the regular smart dimension, get the through, and see if we can pick. I was trying to get that silhouette edge, but there again I'm trying to pick too far out, so probably better off either picking face to face. And got away from me again. And we'll place for our dimensions. Alright, so that gives me enough information to build this part. We'll go to the next. So I can add another view, or we can use our smart dimension. If I come off of the end, I will still get a diameter because that's the way that it was reading it. Alright, so we have the overall, I have the 2 ends, and then we'll do the baseline. Not sure what's going on with my selection. Make sure I'm getting the highlights. And we'll make our picks. Alright, so those are all looking pretty good. Probably the last thing I want to do is I will set up a layer. Alright, so my layer is kind of down in the bottom left corner. And if you don't have the other layers, you're going to right click, go to the toolbars, and we want to go to layer. If that's not kind of highlighted in the gray, then it's not going to be on your screen. It may pop up a couple different places, but most of the time it's going to be across the bottom, I believe. So we're going to go new. I'm going to set up my center. And this is going to be kind of a bright color. And as I select these, I'm going to be able to go through and pick. And those are going to give it a little bit more contrast. All right, we can do the same thing with the dimensions, but when we set up our template, we're going to build these in so that we can use them just about every time. And so center, and pretty much the same thing. I'm going to go through each of the items, make sure that that gets applied. And surprisingly, almost every one of these sheets is going to have something that gets a center mark or a center line. Oops, missed one. Alright, so this one got a little messy. So as I go back through and I realize, well, there's a 161, that's the overall height. We already got a thickness. I probably don't need that view. So just highlight and hit delete. And we can take that out of the mix. And then I can rough position, try and get it a little bit closer. Alright, so the whole locations, and then that was a miss. So let's go to the whole call out for the dowel pin. And the thing to watch for is, since I am currently in center, then I will want to go back to either format or per the standard. Alright, so let's see, if we're on the call out, then I need to go to none or to format. That'll put it back, since that is a little bit darker, that's more like a bold. And I'm going to try the other, just none. Alright, so that looks pretty consistent. Alright, so after we make 2 or 3 passes, look at the geometry. Alright, so the one of the things that I'm not particularly fond of, is extending all of the extension lines all the way across the part. 2 times does the same purpose, and it kind of doesn't seem as cluttered. So we'll just want to come up with some good strategies and stay with it. So call this good, make sure to save, and hopefully that is going to my folder. So save it, let it rebuild and update, and whatever sheet we close on, that will be where it opens back up. Alright, call this one done.